and your laugh cut right through the fumes. I was born for you. Every breath, every move I do, from the dusk to the morning dew. I was born for you. I was born for you. Every beat in my body proves, from the roots to the rising moon. I was born for you. We spin slow in a fast world's heat. Your cheek press right on my cheek. All the noise turns to one low hum. When you're leaning, the night feels young. Closer, let the rhythm take over, spin. Don't think it over, your touch my shoulder is older than time. Before I knew my own name, you were written in my vein. I was born for you, for you, for you. Ever you, for you, for you. I was born for you. Every beat in my body proves, from the roots to the rising moon. I was born for you.
You there, dude? I can't hear you.
This is awful. 1 second and I'll be with you.
There we
If I
go.
don't fix this, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh wow, bro, you understand what happened to me? What's happening, Andre? Sorry for the delay. I'll
No
explain
problem.
to you what happened to me on Thursday. My 3-year-old thought it was a good idea to start practicing his wall ball lunges, and he just threw his ball up, and it hit like a bottle of water, and it spilled all over my laptop. My laptop's gone,
Oh
completely
no.
just destroyed. And I had a spare one that I bought like a while ago, and I came to take it out. It turns out if you leave lithium ion batteries unused or uncharged for 18 months, that something in the physics makes it impossible for you to ever charge those batteries again. They just die. So I had to go get a replacement, and I got my laptop now. It's brand spanking new, orange color like Bitcoin. So I'm very glad to have you guys on for the first show of
Yes.
2026. And look, this is going to be a massive year for Bitcoin and crypto and AI.
And you're gone again.
Yes, your sound is going.
What's happening? And now, can
Ah,
you hear me?
yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I need to fix this stupid fucking microphone. But now we have, like, automation's catching up, and obviously we're starting this week off after the news from Saturday. Now we are all Matti and I. We ain't gonna work on Saturday, and we're used to turning off our phones on Saturday night to some wild shit that Donald Trump did. 1 second it's a meme that ran to $70 billion. The next second he's kidnapping Maduro out of his bed in Hello Kitty pajamas. So I think it's the most like I honestly think it's one of the most people downplay it because AI's made the surreal seem so close, but it's the most surreal event that I think happened here in the last couple of decades. And there's a lot of knockover, spillover effect into geopolitics, into market. What like oil has to be affected because Venezuela is the largest reserves of oil in the world that are just grossly underutilized. I'm very happy to have you gentlemen on because this is uncharted territories that we are walking into. But first, let's say Happy New Year and welcome back to Mighty Greenspan.
Welcome back to you, sir. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I took New Year's off. Like I was in Abu Dhabi at the beginning of December. That was epic. Like the Gulf is just the Emiratis and the Israelis are just becoming tight like this. Like we had events. Like I was an MC there at a panel. It was a very intimate event. Like it wasn't 100, 500 people, but the people that were there were all government officials, business officials, Chamber of Commerce from Israel and the UAE. So it was incredible to see that. And the Solana conference was obviously, they always do it bigger and better there. I didn't go to Breakpoint, but I went to the before party of Breakpoint, and it was just like you're there for a week, and all you're seeing is suits and ties and people talking about institutional money and compliance, and then you go to the Solana party, and they're just giving out little kiddie NFTs like on the dance floor. So it was quite a big shift. But Solana is also going very big into RWA. And that's one of my main takeaways from Abu Dhabi. Like where I need to focus my time on, I think where the industry needs to focus this time on is, the casino games will always be there and they're fun to play with and they're fun to explore. But the real money, the trillions and trillions of dollars are going to come through the Wall Street institutional money, sovereign wealth money. So that's kind of what I've had a realization in Abu Dhabi, and based on that, like I'm really want to double down this year on content in general, but also finding a way to bridge and the gap between the casino games and the degeneracy, and there's a lot of useful tokenomics and incentives models and a lot of cool innovation happening in the trenches, and to try and connect the bridge between that and Wall Street institutional finance, like that's where after Abu Dhabi, that's honestly where I see the most potential. And this show, I want it to be like I've got three things that I'm passionate about: it's Bitcoin, it's real world assets in the space, and AI. And I'm vibe coding a lot, like I'm playing around with that a lot. But for me, I think I named this show Satoshi's Kitchen, right? Because they're redoing it. We're going to throw in like Matti and I have the Tuesday morning show, and then I'm doing some shows on Wednesday afternoon, and the random shows that pop up in there. And the idea of Satoshi's Kitchen is very simple. We're talking about the good people of innovation, but it's all under the umbrella of Bitcoin, of hyper Bitcoinization, of understanding that everything else is a side quest, and the real reason that we're here is
this isn't the breakfast show anymore. This is now
Satoshi's Kitchen. This is now Satoshi's Kitchen.
You heard it, everybody.
And it's now the Satoshi's Kitchen is going to be on twice a week. It's Tuesdays and Wednesdays, usually at this time on Tuesdays and Wednesday afternoon. And we're shifting it up. Like I've got some one-on-one interviews with creators. I've got Billions coming on next week. I've got AI show tomorrow, and the most highlight of my month is the first Tuesday of the month. Hopefully, we're going to have Andre on every month, together with Matti, together with some random guests that we'll pull from the trenches to talk Bitcoin macro, set us up, get us forward. And honestly, guys, like I'm very excited to have you guys here because I'm trying to build the workflows as well to scale this up. So think about, we're talking now on the stream. After this, I can kind of run the transcript through some sort of workflow and we can get a newsletter, we can get posts out, we can get videos out, we can get a lot of content out. So that's kind of what I want to make Satoshi's Kitchen. It's a content machine designed to bring people closer to Bitcoin, closer to the freedom loving, abundance, hard work, ethic, trust, and transparency mindset that Bitcoin and Satoshi endeavor. And we're cooking. That's why it's a kitchen, because it's 2026 is going to be the year where Bitcoin goes from, being in sort of a little consolidation. We had a yearly consolidation, but I think the 4-year cycle is dead. I think the institutional flows, once there's a little trigger, a little match that lights, we'll start to see record breaking flows again. And that's why we changed the name of Satoshi's Kitchen. I wanted to keep it fresh, and what better day to kick it off than the first Tuesday of the year with you two?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the invitation again, and Happy New Year, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I can kick it off with like my general kind of big picture macro view. But I think it's important before talking about Venezuela and increasing geopolitical risks to like rewind back and have a look where we're actually coming from. I mean, you mentioned we've been consolidating for a year, but in fact, I mean, we hit new all-time highs last year, and like many analysts have been like incredibly bullish, right? But most of these forecasts, right, most of these bullish predictions, they didn't materialize, although all of these drivers like institutional demand, ETF buying, sovereign buying, treasury company buying, they did actually materialize. I think what many analysts didn't have on their bingo card was this heavy amount of selling by slash profit taking by long-term holders, right? That we saw essentially in Q4. And of course, this kind of liquidation event on October 10th, right? But what it actually created was, I think it created a massive mispricing, undervaluation of Bitcoin. Whether you look at global money supply, right? Bitcoin's undershooting global money supply right now. Whether you look at gold, right? Bitcoin's also undershooting its relative valuation to gold. Whether you look at the growth outlook in 2026, which is still, so our key macro thesis is growth will stay extraordinarily robust in 2026. And so Bitcoin's also undershooting this kind of growth outlooks. Bitcoin is essentially pricing in a recession. So you have this kind of mispricing slash undervaluation going into 2026, right? And I think the increase in geopolitical risks is usually, I mean, usually these kind of events, they tend to have like short legs, right? They tend to have like a short-term negative effect, usually on the performance of Bitcoin, but they tend to be medium to long-term positive. Because at the end of the day, I mean, armed conflict slash wars, they imply more money printing, right? More fiscal spending, high deficits, and increasing money supply growth. And so I think that's eventually bullish for Bitcoin as well. But I think, yeah, moving into 2026, right? We're moving into 2026, into the new year with like a heavy mispricing, heavy undervaluation on a relative and also absolute basis. And you've mentioned all of these tailwinds, right? We've just seen this kind of green lighting of ETFs among like the major wirehouses. It didn't happen like mid 2025. It happened like essentially in December, right? So it happened last month. Major wirehouse like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they've just greenlighted Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs. So we are just about to see this kind of flood of capital coming into these products, and we're already seeing like an uptick in flows. In fact, right? If you looked at the flows last week, they've been positive. Or I think you've seen 500 million in net flows into crypto asset ETPs. Around $500 million of that was essentially related to Bitcoin inflows, Bitcoin ETP inflows. So yeah, and I think this will drive like this kind of supply deficit going forward. And one of our key predictions at Bitwise, top 10 predictions, is that Bitcoin ETFs will most likely absorb the whole new supply of Bitcoins in 2026 again, which is around 164,000 Bitcoins. So that will absorb more than 100%. So you, in our view, you'll probably have a kind of environment where macro stays robust, right? Stays positive, no recession. There's probably even a re-acceleration in growth in 2026. Plus, you'll have a pervasive supply deficit because ongoing institutional adoption, accelerating institutional adoption among ETFs, right? And so, yeah, I think we're moving into a very positive kind of investment environment.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
hope so.
I'll tell you one of my concerns with the is that we're moving so fast in terms of technology, AI. The Moore's
Mm.
law has been broken and been replaced by some superhuman alternative, and it's just everything's getting faster and faster.
Has it
At a
really? I
certain
mean,
point,
is there like data to show that? Like Moore's law is broken now?
maybe not exactly, but you know, more of a metaphor, if you will. Like that's the idea of the idea of like some sort of linear progression in technology has been replaced by a new LLM coming out and wowing us every 6 months. So, like, at a certain point, there's a meme on Twitter, like, this is why RAM costs so much. At a certain point, you're going to hit some sort of natural, limit to how much you can compute, how much you can store, how much, energy you have, power those servers. So that's, I think, why, Trump did what he did in Venezuela, and people are looking at, energy as a strategic asset, because you need that energy to fuel AI and to essentially run the machine. So it's like, that OpenAI, they're not, they're a software company, but they're also like an industrial scale utilities company, because they have to figure out how to get power and how cooling and chip and all the hardware components for their models as well. So, like that's kind of like when people talk about an AR bubble, that's one thing I'm looking for, to like, where's that limit
Mm.
or the physical limit that we can hit before AI has to start slowing down. But
Mm.
otherwise, like,
That's,
I agree with you. I think there was a disconnect between the Bitcoin price and commodities and stocks and
mm.
money supply. And, there's one of two ways. Either Bitcoin is a canary in a coal mine, and everything else is going to follow down, or Bitcoin is just, shrugging off some collateral damage from October the 10th
Mm.
and is on the way to catching up. Mati, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree. Um, I don't know about collateral damage, but guess you could probably put it that way. It's interesting you say Moore's law is
Mati's
broken to
waiting
the
there with a
upside.
stopwatch and a grok for fact checking. He's
I
waiting there.
literally am. I mean, I'm using AI to prove how fast AI is growing.
Oh,
I was
really?
having a debate with some a theological debate about, with some Christian group, and like who's the better religion, you know how it goes, but like
Yeah,
um it was very clear that both sides were using AI to get their point across. Obviously, their AI agrees with
yeah.
them and
AI
my
is a
AI agrees with me. And so it was quite interesting. It was quite fascinating to see how fast we could get to like the meat and bones of the arguments and see like where exactly are the differences between the two religions. And that was like only because of AI that we could actually like progress so quickly. And obviously, technology is, and particularly the internet is a driving force that brings people together in real time. So glad to show my chart over here. 2026 has started out with a bang as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candlesticks in a row. Today is January 6th, so we got a red candlestick forming, but the day is still early. I think, obviously, um, we've been talking about the technicals not aligning with the fundamentals, and we've been talking about that for quite a while now. And my view is with new year, fresh start, and obviously what we saw late in 2025, those losses in late 2025 could easily turn into early 2026 gains. And everybody likes to look at that YTD number, year to date, which means judging from January 1st, how much is it up or down? Well, in that case, if January 1st is the bottom, then that will show some very impressive numbers on the chart. Altcoins also having quite a swing at the moment, and you can see select altcoins doing pretty well. We can see the Bitcoin dominance chart, which has clearly broken out of its upward consolidation pattern where things are consolidating into Bitcoin as they have been for over 2 years now, since 2023. So it's quite a long Bitcoin consolidation run, and now it's kind of flat, and so we're seeing these kind of select altcoins. Yesterday, I was noticing that Dogecoin was trading against the market. Dogecoin was up 6%. I managed to grab a piece of that. And it did it while the rest of the market was, kind of modest gains. And then as everything else started catching up, you saw Dogecoin pulling back. And I thought, that was usually Litecoin's job. In previous runs, I saw Litecoin doing that. Now Dogecoin looks to be doing that very similar thing. And then, proof is in the pudding. Quantum Coin, we're up 23% today. Very bullish chart reflecting the growth that's happening in our network. Yeah,
What is explain to me quantum core? Because like I see you guys have done a game, and you also have like oil and gas. Like, what's the like? How does everything fit together?
yeah. So Quantum Economics is a firm I've been building since 2019. It's a network of builders, really. And basically, we all pitch in. We all do different things. We have programmers. We have, very high-powered board members and CEOs, founders. We've also got a lot of amazing content creators. We do daily shows on Twitter Spaces and on YouTube lives and everything like that. And obviously investors and all kind of people who are kind of have this kind of shared vision of the future of where things can go in democratizing finance. Um, we're building out several products. Quantum Expeditions, has been around for about 3.5 years at this point. Has raised $1 million from 734 different investors, where the mission is to mine Bitcoin off of stranded energy, natural gas that would otherwise go to waste. So better for the planet, better for Bitcoin, and good for our bottom line as well. Cora Finance, as you know, we're building an AI agent that is designed to help people with personal finances and decentralized finance. And she's learning every day. You can visit her at Cora.finance. She's also multi-platform. So right now, she has email capabilities, and she's available on Telegram through our Quantum Whale Club. Anybody who's in the Quantum Whale Club with holding 1 million QE can talk to her directly. And hopefully by next week, she'll be live on Twitter and tweeting automatically, as an AI agent who has access to cutting edge data via Lunar Crush and other APIs. Some of the best real-time markets data, so she can analyze markets in real time and give you really what's driving things and why and how to position yourself. Quantum Smash, you mentioned, is a play to earn game. We've got a lot of people playing at the moment. It's quantumsmash.com. The prize pool at right now is at about 650,000 QE, which I believe is 350 bucks or so. That's paid out once a week to whoever gets the highest score. And Quantum Assets is our flagship product. Quantum Assets is tokenization of mineral royalties. So basically, if you think about passive income that's generated off of something real, this is how high net worth individuals have been earning passive income for many years. And we have access to some amazing properties that are already producing oil and gas. The estimated return on investment is about 10 to 15% per year. And so it's basically for crypto holders. We've been hearing the market say, we want real world assets that are not based on, trading volumes and trading fees. Actually, this is coming directly from real world production of oil and gas. And so you just hold the NFT and get monthly airdrops. On the down low, we are doing a friends and family raise at the moment for accredited investors. So anybody who's interested in that can obviously DM me. But
A
Quantum
raise for
Coin,
quantum assets.
correct. Quantum Coin is basically ties the whole thing together. Not just what we were building internally, but we're having other projects now who are reaching out to us, and they want to, be involved. So long as they're making a firm commitment to be building on the QE coin, we're happy to have them within the network. And I show you, we've just built out a new launch pad on our website. So it's QE.finance. And you can see here the projects that are being built on Quantum Coin are floating around the globe. And then all of the members of the
What does it
network.
mean being built on quantum coin? How does the coin plug into your partner projects?
Yeah, excellent question, and it's different. We just put out a version 2 of the white paper yesterday, so you can go ahead and read that. So if you go to the globe, you hit QE, and that'll take you to the coin page. Here's the white paper over here. But also, yeah, I mean, just to answer the question in brief, every project is different, whether it's a buyback and burn, whether it's gated access. For example, the whale club, as I mentioned, anybody who's holding 1 million QE, which is $560 at today's prices, is eligible to join the whale club. And that's done automatically through the site. You just connect your wallet to verify your holdings, and it'll get you into the Telegram group. And then once if your wallet dips down below the 1 million threshold, it'll kick you out automatically. And some of the projects are doing buybacks and burns. Quantum Smash burns 20% of every transaction that is spent through the game. And 80% goes back into the prize pool. So we're not actually making money on the game at all. It's just a community project to assist with velocity and burn amount. So far, 200,000 QE has been burned through the game itself. And then Quantum Assets, as I mentioned, the mineral royalties tokenization is on every transaction is taking 5% of the transaction amount, buying back and burning quantum coins. So if we have a $100,000 buy order, that's $5,000 $5,000 buy pressure on the token that'll never be matched with a sell order.
Yeah, I hear it looks really sick. I want to play. I think we scared him off with veering away from Bitcoin for too long. So
I
Andre
think
has
he's
left us
I think he's had
unexpectedly.
connection issues. He'll be back.
Yeah. No, he had to jump unexpectedly, he says. So maybe
Ah,
he
okay,
has
okay.
like a maybe he got a call from the Treasury Secretary of Germany, and he needs to advise him on a Bitcoin strategy. You remember when they sold
What could
at
be more important than Satoshi's kitchen? Seriously.
Ay, 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 ay. But that's a cool wrap up. I think. Look, it's funny that you launched this coin as a meme coin, as like a as an experiment. But it seems like it's got it seems like you're kind of decentralizing the building, and a lot of new things are popping up, and it's so easy with vibe coding today to just get things into production ASAP, testing things. Whatever works, you double down on you.
Well, that's the thing right now because we're in an era where anybody can build anything. And so when as that happens, I mean, and basically all of our um, projects that you see are using AI in some way, shape, or form. Mostly vibe. A lot of them are doing vibe coding centrally, and then having people review the code. Um, but you'll notice the theme. There's not necessarily anybody can mine Bitcoin off of natural gas. That's something that's extremely difficult to do. And then the mineral royalties, I mean, anybody can build the technology out. That's not difficult. But the fun part here is in the access to the specific assets. I mean, people spend their entire lives trying to find properties that are already producing oil and set to increase their production over time. And we have obviously Doug Hardwick as a as he's the CEO of Quantum Expeditions, and he's been dealing with these type of assets for 30 years already, and so has access to premium assets which are ripe for tokenization and have a very steady revenue stream. And then B, uh, that you know building the site out and building the technology is one thing, but the structure of the company to ensure that it's regulatory friendly and in the clear. And these are not things that most people can figure out using Chat GPT. They're things that we've done a lot of consulting with industry experts, securities attorneys, myself with a financial license. And so what we're finding is that a lot of projects, have some good ideas and are able to now create great user experiences using vibe coding, but they still need help with corporate structure, access to assets, and then even bigger is they need reach, right? So they need to make sure that they can plug into a community of builders like we have at Quantum Economics. They can come up on, our AMAs, and workshop ideas, share it with, thousands of listeners, and that, and that's really what it is that we're offering for new projects. So for a new project to launch a coin, it can be scary, right? It's like, is the coin going to do well? Is the coin going to, take off? We don't know. And especially in this market, new coins often are used as like an exit for VCs. But do they really provide the founders with what they need? And I remember when we were trying to launch the RA, which completely stopped. And the reason was because we were being recommended to raise $300,000 just to launch the coin. And to me, that was insanity. Like, if I'm going to raise $300,000, I'm going to do it to launch the product, right? To pay some employees
Yeah,
salaries, to obtain inventory, to do marketing. Why would I put that all into a coin? I mean, that's just it's more of an exit scam than actually like strategy to raise money. And don't forget what ICOs were intended to do from the beginning. It's like the same as a stock, right? You take investors, who want to invest in an idea. You take that money, you build something of value, and then create a mechanism from which after that money is utilized to create growth, will investors will be able to either continue adding value, or they'll be able to extract that value as needed. And so what it's become is very extractionary, right? I mean, creator coins and celebrity coins. I mean, I don't see any real value add to them. Like, they're really like a method of people extracting value from the system. And what we're doing here is basically a way for founders who don't really want to mess with a token to come in, enjoy from all of the benefits of having a coin without having to launch one themselves and taking all of that risk. And overhead. What if it doesn't go well? And that most founders don't want to deal with that. Most founders, like, I have an idea, I have a product. We're speaking every day now with brilliant people, and giving them good ideas about how to shape their user experience, how to craft their specific idea, and design it for mass market. And a lot of the time, making a coin is just a distraction for them. So if they can plug in to our network, use our coin for the mechanisms that a coin is generally used for, well, then that suddenly every single person who's holding the coin becomes a valid advocate of your platform. So we have a founder who comes in, he's utilizing the coin, and somebody who's holding the coin because they're part of the community says, okay, wait a second, this person is building something that is interesting, let me support them, and that will also support my own investment in QE coin.
Yeah, I want to show you something because I think we can collaborate on this. I built a job board, right? And the idea is to kind of take a LinkedIn, Ethos. Have you heard of Ethos, the info file platform? It's basically like
Yeah,
a decentralized reputation, right? So
absolutely.
to
Shout out
take
to all the yappers out there.
or the ethos, I got to take my ethos more seriously because my reputation isn't strong, and that's super important here. So because I just someone just got hired from one of my recommendations, and in the community. So I wanted to open an app for that where you can actually come on and open a profile at supply side. So instead of showing all the jobs, we show candidates. You can obviously apply undocs because it's Web3, so you can put some code name or put your Twitter handle or whatever. But what makes it useful is that there's an endorsement card under each candidate. So the candidates can essentially get endorsed
Tell me,
by
can you show
people.
your screen, or you want to give me the
I'm gonna
website?
I'm gonna pop it up now. I'm on my new laptop, so I don't know how well this shit's gonna work. Right, so it's on render now. I'm opening
Well,
it on the.
I've got four screens here. If you want me to open it on my screen, I'm happy
Oh,
to.
that's the dream, right? But I'm gonna wait to open it up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna roll it out first to like handpick people, so that I can maintain the quality. But I think if you're in the what I'm thinking is if you're in the Quantum Coin Whale Club, then you can get an access to put your name on the job board here. Because
Yeah,
it's people that are, people that are quality. And I want to start with only our community, right? Which is like a test case, but eventually to all of crypto. I think, crypto is lacking. Where do you go for crypto jobs, right? If you want to get as a candidate, if you want to get hired, or as a recruiting agency, or you can go to. If you're recruiting, you can put a job description on LinkedIn. But if you're recruiting for more degen roles or like people that are more within the culture, a lot of them aren't on LinkedIn at all. Or you go to a job board and email, like people send out these email blasts with all the jobs. But no, I think there's a mismatch here where you can go hunt for candidates, like, and that's kind of where this app is plugging the gap. Let's see, it's open here. Let me show you. Vibe coding era. This is my first sneak peek of the Yellow Jobs website.
Nice.
So you go here, you browse talent, and then you see you can endorse. I need to sign in with a wallet, and then I can endorse. Let me just stop sharing here. I'll sign in with a wallet. So let's see if the endorsement works because it wasn't working last time. I had
Oh,
like
okay.
a bit of database issues, but
Yeah. Let me know if you need help with that. I've become somewhat of a vibe coding.
Maestro,
Yeah.
yeah, endorsement, it works, I think, but I
That's an
can't see
awesome
what.
endorsement. You just say blah 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 blah. Yeah. You got to
This
wrap it.
person hired me.
That
Pardon?
works. That works. You got to wrap the text.
Yeah, I've got a lot of fixtures to do. I want them to pop out. I
What
want
are
it
you
to look
using? Is it Lovable or Base 44?
Claude Code. Who uses
Really?
lovable and base 44? That's for Neanderthal. Claude Code, straight up Claude Code. It's
No
become an
kidding.
addiction. I'm running Claude on my browser, and I'm running Claude in the terminal. So on my browser, like
Ah,
I'm doing like product management, like what features should I do, what's the next, and then on the terminal, you run the code change, you run the code changes, and then you just ask it to push to GitHub and just can. Da, 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 da.
nice.
The only part of vibe coding, like I knew how to code before, right? But I knew how to code in Python, and like maybe 6 out of 10. Now I'm writing JavaScript code. I don't even know what 90% of the code means. Like
Right.
sometimes I look at the AI, I'm like, just tell me let's take a break. Tell me what you did. Like, what libraries did you use? Because it's just like ta for 9, 10 minutes. And it gives you a perfectly working site. It blew my mind. And then you have to QA it, you have to check it, obviously you can build agents that can do this eventually, they won't need you anymore. But the idea is it's just been insane. And like, I want to try roll it out this week with 10 candidates. And then the rule of this job board is if you hire through the job board, you sponsor a party for the community. There's no, it's starting off very, very, beta, very for the community. But if you hire through the job board, you sponsor a party for the community. And that way, hopefully we
That's
get
awesome.
more because the project that I just hired for, the project that I just helped, they're not sponsoring a show.
So
So they're not sponsoring.
is that only for Israelis then? Or I
At
mean,
the
if you're
moment,
sponsoring it,
I'm going to start it off the rollout in Israel, and then eventually and eventually try and expand it as well. But
it's weird
if you
to
hire
it feels weird to me to tie anything like, to a physical location these days. Like, what was that? What's the idea there?
Yeah, I don't think I'm tying it to one. I want to kind of start in a hyper niche. I want to hyper niche down. I don't want to say it's like I'm built the Web3 market, like hiring engine or matchmaker, right? I want to kind of build a tool for our community where there's, and it doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be based in a physical location. It can be. We have people in our community in the yellow Bitcoin from Miami and from Dubai and from Australia and all of these people can join, and you don't have to be Jewish either. Like, we accept anyone. Like, we'll be very curated with how we grow in order to keep the quality of the candidate. We don't want to grow, like, this isn't something you want to get 100x user growth in, because then your candidates are shit. So you want to kind of
I
keep it bespoke at the beginning. So the candidates are coming from our community, but the jobs, my plan is to go to headhunters. These people are hiring for Web3 jobs all over the world. And if there's a match, there's a match. That reminds me, I got to add location. to the location, like location. That's a good
So
tip.
I have to tell you that I'm very happy that you have a job board website. People have been telling me to do this for a while, and I have not had the bandwidth to do so. And obviously, we have a very active community and Web3 oriented people, very talented people, and projects that are looking for talent. So honestly, that'd be quite awesome to see how we can really integrate it within what we're doing in QE. Um, I just really quickly asked chat for some ideas like how we can integrate QE. The first one I think was a banger. Um,
Bangers.
Basically, you have an option within the site to stake QE into your post. And so that signals intent for so anybody who's looking to hire, staking a larger amount of QE gets them to the top, of the job board.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
And then for people who are looking for jobs to stake QE, and that'll filter out spam, right? And that'll filter out, people just like, because that's a night like it's really inefficient for people, and it's always been inefficient for people who hire, because like you get so many resumes that are completely unrelated, and that can be it can be a hassle. And so if you have people staking QE into their application, that signals intent and filters out the noise, filters out spam. So you'll have only valid people coming through. I think that's actually like kind of a cool idea. Um, On-chain reputation and proof of work. So complete interviews, you get reputation points. On-chain lightweight attestations, incentives for ecosystem participation. I think that's more what we were discussing earlier with QE, but you could like give people QE for referrals, and we could even set some sort of budget out of like our operations budget for those sort of rewards, and to encourage people to
Yeah.
use the
I think
platform
what's
for sure.
important for me is to just get quality talent on the board. That I can send it to a headhunter, that they can find it. And why would quality talent want to be on that board? Because they know we have, they might not be, a lot of people are good talent, right? They might be a great BD salesman, they might be a great developer or a great, head of finance or whatever, but they're not in the trenches, Like I remember when I worked at companies, like there were a lot of good people that I worked with, but they weren't like we are in spaces the whole day and on the plane to Dubai and on the plane to Vegas and on the plane there and like know all these people from the company side, right? So I think like there's a place to make that match, and people also there's the era of like distributed trust, like the kind of outsourced trust where our trust or your like if something's coming from you, if a candidate's being referred by Mighty Greenspan, the hiring manager on the other side knows to look at that a lot more seriously. So that's kind of what I'm building in here. So I'm gonna finish this, get this up in production, get this deployed. My brother needs to come back from work. He's hawking now. The oak was a month away. My dev team is rugging me as we speak, but hopefully he'll come back. And like I told the kid, like, listen, like I can build 90% of it in vibe coding. I need you to do the last 10%, get it operational, deploy, manage the deployment, and let me move to the next project. My next project is a agentic workforce of marketing agents, right? So research, content, articles. No, 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 no. Like I've put that on for too long, and I'm 100% locked in on that right now.
Nice, nice. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to, like, if there's something that you need help with on the coding side, happy to take that offline. And I'll be very happy to integrate this into QE.finance, get the Yala job board rotating around the globe with some of our other projects there, because I think, you know, as people come into the network and they're looking around, you know, exploring the site, how can they utilize it? Yeah, having a job board just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. What's your we about to lock out? I don't know who we have for next week, but I'm gonna try and bring exceptional guests. We have on Andre every week, every month. I think I'm gonna try and have more recurring guests because I don't want to have to look for guests every time. I just want to come on and have a good vibe, and you see, and eventually we're gonna get back in a routine. You know, new banners are coming, new branding. I'm started to fuck around with Suno.ai, which is like the music AI. Have you used it before? Suno.ai. It
No,
is
I think I heard of
absolutely
it. What's the thing? Why is it better?
it's it's absolutely mind blowing. The Suno AI. Hopefully, I can get better at playing my jams. But it's basically prompt to song, and the songs are epic. The songs are proper hot. Let me see if I can play you one of my tracks.
Yeah, go.
It's What I made like a whole bunch of Jewish tracks as well, and I made like a little. Hold on, I'll play it now. Uh, I made like this little thing about foot.
We have the best talent in the community. Find your match and tell them. You're hired!
So I made like. Did you hear that?
Nice. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
nice.
that's
We
kind of
have the
like,
best talent in the community.
and then
Find your
there's,
match and tell them.
and then like you can make proper tracks.
Awesome.
Yeah, you just gotta prompt it. How mad is that? It's proper like I want to make a set. Like I'm trying to. You know, that's one subscription. Because in December, you know, I'll speak to you after on off air. But there was like been kind of couple of changes. So in December, like I decided I'm just going on a research binge, and I subscribe to every AI in the book. Only now I'm going to start like cutting them. You know, but I got every subscription, and Suno was probably my favorite in terms of the entertainment value and the fact how my mind was blown when I first used it because I've always loved music and I've just for whatever reason I've never been able to master it. Like I can play it, I know how to read music, I can play do re mi na na na, but I've never had that fluidity. And this is like wow, I can put together like you know a bar mitzvah playlist for my you know like for my kid. I can DJ, you know,
Nice.
I can just put it together with AI. It's flipping insane. But yeah, I think the takeaway is that things are moving quick, and you know I hope to. That's my number one goal this year is everything to do with good content and you know helping people get results through content. And number one B is to automate it all. You know, I think we have a couple more years and we can have a situation where, you know, it doesn't make sense that we have all these automation tools and we're 17 and a half hours of screen time a day. It doesn't add up. Like, surely if AI is taken over, surely we should be on screens less. So that's
That's
kind of where,
funny. No, I don't see it that way. And you know, I haven't been able to sleep lately because I've just been so productive that I feel like sleep is losing very valuable time, right? I feel like my time has become so much more precious, the screen time, because I'm able to do so much more at a much faster rate. And so what I see is like, you know, you're talking about Moore's law earlier, and like so technology used to go like this, and it's gonna suddenly go like this. It's gonna go straight up because now people are able to get so much more productive. And I think like the GDP of the world has been in a like kind of a steady incline, you know, over the last 100 years. And now everybody has basically 10x productivity, and that 10x is going to 10x, and we're talking about literally parabolic increases in productivity across the globe. Is what comes next is going to be insane. I can't even. I, it's impossible to imagine.
Yeah, I hear you. Like for whether by choice or by force, I've also been like, I used to be in bed on an average night by 11. Like just kind of 10:15. Like I'm finding myself crawling to bed at 1 in the morning, chatting with AI a lot more often than before. Like even like it's like 12:30, and it's like, let me get one more prompt in, let me get one more iteration, let me get one more app just made. It's absolutely whack. It's absolutely whack. I've been trying to make internet businesses since since 2013. I remember my first attempt. I was with my mother in Shanghai in China, and we were like, she was on business, and I just, second year university. In high school, I was never really like, incentivized to make money. Like, it was like, enjoy your time with your friends, whatever. Second year university, I start to read up about affiliate website and affiliate marketing. So I try to build a site, and it was just like, you have to learn WordPress, or you have to learn this, or you have to learn Blogspot, and then you have to learn all the SEO and do it by yourself. And it was just like I tried a lot of things, and I just didn't get to, beyond the line. Today, it's just like a different game whatsoever. It's just anything you want can be yours within 10 minutes from prompt to finish, and you can,
Well,
you.
I think it takes about 2 weeks, because don't forget the AI has a lot of, it comes in with a lot of bugs, and you got to work out the bugs. And like you mentioned, that's not always a straight path. And I would say 10 minutes is a bit of an overreach.
10 minutes, if yeah, I think.
But
Look, if you want something
you
yesterday,
can
I want to show
absolutely
you.
push out a full working product in 2 or 3 weeks these days. And that's
Uh,
something that used to take 6 months to a year with a qualified dev and cost somewhere between 60 to $100,000, is now costing you 150 or $200. And it's absolutely insane. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you, man. My first website was an affiliate site. I worked at a casino, an online casino, in like 2000 and I want to say 2007 era or so, something like that. And I saw these casino affiliates making so much money, and I had this idea to make a button that you click, and that would take you to a random casinos. Like if you're already like
oh, that's
playing
cool.
your luck, then and I made the website, and it took me months and months. Like I remember using Dreamcast and these WYSIWYGs, and going to GoDaddy the first time and parking a domain and figuring it out how to hook all that up, and consulting with so many different people until I had the website live. And then I totally flopped in the marketing, because like then you have to put budget, and I was a kid back then, like
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about that, and or even like, but I got the website live. And so yeah, I've been trying to build stuff, and I've had so many horror stories with devs. Horror stories, like where they feel like they're king of the world. They want to take like 30% or half, or 50% or more of the equity in the company that's being built. It can be a nightmare, man. And
yeah.
today, with the
I want to show you what
community,
I've built.
you
I'm so
keep what
excited to show you what
you
I've
built.
built.
You keep what you built. I'll keep what I built, and we just work together on the collaboration and
I want to show you what I
economics.
built. I want to show you what I built. It's
Oh, that's
absolutely
cool.
insane.
What's this?
So basically, I'll give you a little context. This is absolutely insane. I was up till 12:30 doing it. In this week's parsha, we read about the 12 tribes of Israel, right? The 12 tribes of Israel are compared in the Kabbalah to the 12 edges of a cube, right? So if you see this cube,
Oh,
a cube has six faces: up, down, north, south, east, west, right? Think about like a house. You have the walls and the floor, and then you have the roof and the floor, and then four walls. So that's six faces. And the way these connect is in 12 edges, right? If you think about the 12, four edges on the top, four edges at the bottom, and the four edges that go down the side. And each of those four edges is some sort of combination of the spherot, of the powers, the modality of the loving kindness, severity, or whatever. And each of that is parallel to one of the 12 tribes. So this is like the physics are perfect. I can improve the UX a bit, but this is essentially like a meditative cube to kind of understand the depth of the 12 tribes and what that's all about. I made that
That's so awesome.
I made that on my phone at 12:15 at night in two prompts. In two prompts.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
it, man. I
Yeah.
love that the
Well, no,
AI
but
just knows Kabbalah and like you reference it and it's just like, yeah, easy. And then it can explain it to you. Like obviously, you don't want to use that as a primary learning tool, but when you have quick
I use it
questions,
a
I
lot
mean,
for questions. Like if like, and it's kind of dangerous because we're supposed to have human. This is like the question that you have in theology, in religion, in supposed to facilitate the human relationship with a mentor, with a rabbi, with a friend. Today, like I don't need that. I can just chat GPT it. Like there will be some nuanced thing that you might need a rabbi for the chat GPT, but if you're talking like if for the basic questions, like general
but
questions,
no, but the
AIs can
problem
take
is that
over.
you don't necessarily know where it's going to mislead you. That's the problem with AI is that yeah, you can reference anything and when you ask for the sources it can give you the exact source. But sometimes it absolutely improvises. And not only that, it the danger in the AI as far as this is concerned is that the way that LLMs work is it's predictive text. And so it's trying to read the meaning of your prompt and give you what you want. And so if you come to it with a preconceived notion and you ask for validation, it will absolutely give it to you, no matter what. Even it's really good at giving confirmation bias. And if you're asking it for confirmation bias and it gives you confirmation bias, even if you're wrong, then you'll never know it. And you'll receive the confirmation bias that you have and you'll continue down the wrong interpretation, the wrong road. And so I think that's the major danger, one of the major dangers in utilizing it. Whereas if you have a human partner, they're not looking to validate your opinion. They will be much more likely to assess it based on the merits of the theory and their own background knowledge. And these days, your study partner can also rely on their AI if they need to reference something or whatever, and then you can bounce. I mean, I did a one study session where both of us were using AI at the same time. It's wild, man. It's wild. It's like
Yeah.
I personally can't wait till we have chips, that we could like access that within our own brain without having to like type it in, like, because it gets so tiring prompting, like I want to just think it and like let the information flow back into my brain and then
Yeah, that's gonna be
make
wild though.
decisions.
That's a real cyborg. That's a real like cyborg
It's gonna
stuff because
happen, man. We're not more than
we
5 years off.
I used to watch this guy, like, he's called Jason Silva. I should get back into him. He's incredible. He's got a show called Shots of Awe, and he was talking already, like, I'll say a decade ago when I was into him, like when I first moved here. I was already talking about the fact that, like, and he had a great quote. If Michelangelo had to paint David in today's day and age, he'd paint him with a smartphone because that's part of his anatomy. Like I had to go give my laptop in for service. I had my phone. I had like 15 hours of screen time. Right? Imagine my phone, God forbid, also was wrecked, and I had no phone, no laptop. Like I would be half a person at the time. Like I wouldn't be who I am. Like I'd just be like, and these tools are an extension of us to the point that the only thing that is the only limit, as I said at the beginning of the show, it's becoming physics, biology, right? Chemistry. Like the building blocks of reality become the limit because at the end of the day, like, AI is getting to a place where the latency is shortened, and the biggest latency in anything intelligence in this kind of intelligent revolution is the latency from your brain to your fingers and from the screen to your brain, right? That's where the latency is right now, and once we remove that, like, good luck. But I'm also scared for that because, like, your thoughts aren't always positive, right? Your thoughts aren't always constructive. And that latency gives you time to have a second of metacognition or a second of reflection of whether that impulse is something you want to, meditate about or speak about or act on. And once we shorten that latency, I'm worried that, like, we have a little flash of a bad thought in our brain and suddenly it becomes amplified. Think about, like, you have a bad thought in your brain and suddenly it's on the screen projected in
Yeah.
MetLife Stadium. So that's kind
Well,
of,
maybe it makes sense to have guardrails. And today's AI does have some guardrails. I think you'd probably want to increase those before you get to the chip stage. And you'll notice it when you start to talk about anything that's on the edge or whatever. The AI can come in and say, "Oh, well, I'm going to stop you right there." Like, you don't want to go down that route. Let me suggest a few more safe and more successful paths. And when you get to that point, you hit the guardrails of AI. You notice it. And so I would say that, like, yeah, that feature needs to be increased before we get to the, chip in your brain stage. Because you're right, that actually is a very scary thought. But I think that with enough, with enough understanding, the further we go, I mean, I think that'll kind of work itself out naturally within the next few years. Um, and so I'm not really, don't see that as much of a concern as much as another step that needs to happen, in the process of getting there.
yeah, definitely. All right, Matty, I'm going to end the stream now. It's been a great comeback to 2026. And yeah, we're going to come bigger and better with lots of shows. We're doing some LinkedIn as well this year. I'm looking into actually flying to Dubai to do shows. I'm looking at a podcast studio here in Israel as well. Mati, maybe we can do some live shows. That would be cool as well, like once a month or something. Just kind of recorded high quality in front of the camera and all that. So a lot coming, a lot of ideas. As you can see, a lot of vibe coding projects as well. A lot of QE nodes plugging into the network. So stick with us. It's going to be a wild ride. Thank you, everyone, for joining. This has been Satoshi's Kitchen. Hello to Justin and Mehdi. Have a great day. Love the pudgy, bro. Mighty has fans from all over the world. And today we actually we were more guests than people commenting. So let's get those numbers up at the end of as the year progresses.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody for joining us today.